All right, Taylor. So so there's a lot of news coming out right now. Frank Wilson took the podium yesterday, talked. Of course, we got Arkansas tomorrow, and now we're kind of hearing a little bit about a nagging injury for our guy, Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, so he said Garrett had a nagging injury that has reoccurred. So it was, one of the ones that he had previously had. He said Garrett's probable for the game, but it is something that is concerning. I mean, he says he's probable but concerning. It's something we need to watch and monitor as we head into the game. He was later asked in the press conference, you said reoccurring injury. Is it the knee or the patellar tendon, or is it the oblique? He confirmed it's the oblique. It's in that ab area. You had talked about how hard it is to throw the football. And, and I get it. Garrett hadn't had the best year, but, I thought he was actually even worse to start the year than he has been. I mean, just because, you mentioned the entire throwing motion is going to be off with that oblique injury, and it's apparently back.
Yeah, and I don't think we know. Yeah, it's an oblique. It's the left side is the right side because, to me, I think I'm trying to figure out which side would be. Anyway, for a guy that turns, anybody that's a swinger. So you're a rotational type of athlete. So you're a kicker, you're a baseball batter, a golfer, a thrower, anything that's a rotational type of athlete. Anything in the abs and the ribs is really tough to deal with, and it creates a lot of mechanical flaws and mechanical issues. So everybody's been trying to pinpoint with Nuss, hey, what's the difference this year between the Nuss we've seen and we've known and we've trusted, and he's absolutely electric all over the field, making every throw, making every read. And then the Nussmeier that we've seen this year, who has not been as dynamic, has looked a little bit like he's pressing a lot. His mechanics have been the same. The throws haven't been the same. And I think a lot of it has to go back to this oblique injury. And because if you're a golfer, you can kind of relate to this. If you play in the wind a lot, you have to change your swing.
Right.
And you have to change your swing to adapt to the wind. And then when it's not windy, there's a period of time where you have to unlearn what you just did in the wind. So there could be a situation where he had this injury and he was, whether subconsciously or consciously, overcompensating for something, or his body was doing something different in his throwing motion to ease the pain so he could make a throw. Well, if you do that enough for a long enough period of time, muscle memory starts to set in and mechanics happen. So I sometimes I wondered throughout the year did his mechanics change a little bit? And I could go and slow motion and look at it, but I'm just talking about maybe not from an arm standpoint, but from a body weight standpoint. Is his right hip getting through? Is his right hip going to the target? A lot of times he's falling away from the ball, falling away from his target this year. And I got to believe a lot of that goes back to his abs or his oblique or whatever the injury was, of trying to take pressure off of that situation. So from all accounts we've heard, when Brian Kelly was talking before he got relieved, that Nussmeier was back. He's not feeling it. It's not an issue anymore. But now we hear that the nagging injury has popped up, has crept back up, which is not a great situation because, like you said, he has struggled this season. And I think that a lot of those physical struggles have turned into mental struggles. He is not reading the field like he did last year. Last year, he was reading all 53 yards. This year, he's struggled with those reads. Now, the offensive game plan, the bones of this offense has not helped him at all because it has been flat out bad. I think they've tried to do some good things in the last game. But at the end of the day, there's a foundation set with this offense that is flawed. It's flawed from the foundation, from the bones. There's only so much lipstick you can put on it right this moment, at this point in the season. But to hear that we got a little bit of an oblique situation, what we believe was kind of the start of the decline of his production, is not a great situation.
No, it's not. And you'd done a great job all year long of breaking down the Joe Sloan offense. And, what had been the question all year? Why aren't they throwing the ball deep? Why aren't they throwing the ball across the middle? And I totally get that. But you and I were talking about it about a week ago. We saw this offense do it a year ago. Maybe Nuss can't do it right now.
Right.
And it's because of this oblique. And you mentioned, it's the mental struggles now. I see a quarterback, just in my opinion, you know a lot better than I do. that maybe doesn't trust his offensive line and also knows that he can't throw the ball downfield. So, like, what do you actually do if you're Garrett Nussmeier? And I've seen people today or last night say, oh, well, this is just the secret of benching for Nussmeier. This is just, putting him on. I don't think people realize,
like a
Matt,
soft bench in there, like Kyler Murray. I don't think it's...
Right, because people are going to say, well, it doesn't matter. Arkansas's defense is bad. Sure, their defense might be bad, but, like, let's not forget the fact that their offense puts up a ton of points.
Right.
That Texas A&M team you struggled with, Arkansas put up 42 points against them. That was a 45-42 football game. You need all hands on deck offensively, not because you can't move the ball with them against your backups, but you're going to have to match them score for score.
Yeah, you are. And, like, even if an offense is in the SEC or a defense in the SEC is not good, like production-wise, people put points on them, there's still a defense in the SEC.
Right.
They are still 11 good athletes that are trying everything that they can. There are coaches on the other sideline that are doing everything they can to stop you. So you have to execute. And what LSU has proven that they can't do consistently on offense is execute. And it's not necessarily about can you win a one-on-one battle. Are you getting your tail whipped by somebody that's just physically better than you? It's not always about that. It's about scheme. You have to get people open. You're going against, like, Josh Heupel. They put points against Arkansas. They barely beat Arkansas. But Josh Heupel was getting guys open everywhere. Schematically, they were winning that battle. And when I talk about the bones of this offense that was developed not by the people that are leading the offense now, the bones of this offense are very flawed. Just from a schematic X's and O's standpoint. So, but look, they tried last game. They did some things that I really liked. There's just so much you can do at this point of the season. There's only so much that you can add in. So, I mean, we'll see. You do have to execute. Their offense is going to score points, but luckily they are going to be going against our best unit on this team, which is the defense, which played really, really well, I thought, against Alabama. And they've played really, really well in spurts throughout this season. I expect them to play well. I expect Blake Baker to have a great game plan.